Help spread the message. Like our page, follow our page, and share our post.
My name is Grace Massah. I am a Malawian, and I'm a lady with albinism. I was born in a family of 6, and I went to local primary schools, secondary schools, and I went also to Camus College of Nursing, where I did my degree in nursing. And I also did my master's in public health, which I did it in Morocco, and of course I did it in a different language. It was in French. I am a professional public health worker and also a manager. And currently I'm working with Ministry of Gender in the Department of Disability. I'm here just to encourage somebody. In life, we have different experiences, different exposures. Not everyone looks like me. And that already puts me at a position to say, then what's next? So I would like just to talk to somebody on an issue of self-image, how to embrace your self-image. As I've told you, I have born in Malawi, in a family where my parents are all having a brown skin, Malawians. And I have a twin brother who is also has a brown skin. And yes, we have been raised up in a mixed family. We call it a colored family because some of the siblings are white and some have a black skin. Now, when I was being raised up, I went through all the cultural attitudes that the society in our country holds against a person who looks different to them, just like I am. In primary school, you would face an audience in a primary school, in new class, and you go there. People, in first reaction, they will look at you just to stare at you, and sometimes it really makes you awkward. But 1 week, 2 weeks, you get used to that. And I thought maybe this would end when at that age. But life, it takes you through different circles. I have been to, maybe you go to church, you go to a market, you look at people, stopping whatever they are doing, just looking at you. And that in the first stage, when I was young, I had problems to adjust to that. So I started having more of a defensive mechanism to fight that which people, that which I was getting from the community because I was feeling uncomfortable. People calling me names that people call a person with albinism in our local languages. I'm not immune to that. I've gone through that. And sometimes you stand back and respond, or sometimes you are with your siblings. They would fight back with those people. But still, when I come back home, I could compose myself to say, I think this is grace. And in our home, you know, you'd also see you have a sister, you have a brother, you have other siblings, a mixed life. And all that made me to say, I think what I hear from outside then would not change what I am. And when I grow up, I think I also had this negative attitude. Said when I passed my MSTE and I went for my exams for going to university, I didn't want to do a public work. Because in me, I'm like, I don't want people to be busy looking at me like working in a public place. So I wanted an office where I can close myself and live my own life. But God does things in a different way. I went to write my university entrance exams. Wow, I was selected to go to KCN, meaning to say working in a marketplace like a hospital. So that all defeated my plans and my thinking. I ended up working with Smolanje District Hospital, where everyone could come into your life, go every day, you see patients and many people all around. That defeated my my thinking of saying, no, I think I just need to live in a closed life. Why I was doing that is because of the image I was having then. I thought I can control the environment or circumstances around me. But I knew to say, I can't control it any further, and I accepted, and I enjoyed my work, and now I kept on working on my personal attitude to maintain that positive attitude. Yes, people look at you, but what does that mean? The first time I stepped in a hospital, when I was deployed to work at Mulanje Hospital, next day there was a journalist who came to interview me to say, wow, we have never seen a person with albinism attaining education to a degree level. Then what has it taken you to do this? Well, I went through that interview, but I knew to say, I think I'm speaking to so many people who cannot approach me directly, but through reading my article in a newspaper, they would learn to say, I think this is possible. In a process, that also made me to improve my personal image, and how can I speak to so many people who look different, who think they can control the environment by doing anything else to do, by speaking or maybe reversing back bad words or closing up yourself in a home, or else doing whatever mechanism you would think. I would want to say, I think I tried to do that at my level, but I saw God was breaking all those circles to say, I think, Grace, just need to be yourself. Just need to be yourself. So, and when I kept on being interviewed by a number of people, then it's when I really know they're saying, what is all important? It's me speaking, so that people should hear what I think. Because our community, our culture, holds a lot of issues in terms in relation to attitudes. And I learned to say, if I'm to abide or bow down to what this the culture, our culture says, I think I will live a miserable life, because there's no way I would change to attain a brown skin, because I have a genetic problem or challenge. So that made me to smile. That made me to maintain myself, positive attitude. And I would also just give you an example. Like when I was in secondary school, there were times they would organize a dance, a disco. You would go, I was in a time of a disco. You go there and you are dancing. Some people would literally stop their dancing and just look at you, because they would, I think in their thinking is like, okay, so you mean this girl can also dance like this. So in life, when you are different, there are some attitudes from people who don't expect that. I think you can't do what they can do because of just a minor difference. I want to say this is very normal. This is very normal, and I took it very positive. When they stared at me when I'm dancing, I'll even dance more so that I entertain them and they laugh. That's how you treat people when they are looking at you. Unlike maybe withdrawing, say, no, next time I will not go there. Why do they look at me? I can't cover myself. I just need to live positively, because I am a human being. I need to enjoy every space. And I went to school. For information, I've talked to you of my background. I'm not spared with a challenge of being short-sighted. I never copied notes on the board in class. I went to primary, secondary, college, up to my master's level. I never copied notes. So you might be there somebody to say maybe you are in school, or else school failed you in one way or another, and the issue you always put blame is, no, I have a challenge in class, I can't do this. There are people, I had a problem, but I had a good relationship with my friends. When my friend who is well-sighted is next to me, I made sure he's my friend or she's my friend, and I copy notes from them. After break, we chat properly. I know after classes, we are good friends. So my inner personal image, a positive attitude, made me also to have friends who could accept me and support me in my weakness. So if you know you are out there and you have a challenge, probably people looks at you, maybe you don't have an arm, you don't have, maybe you have a physical disability, or maybe you are too fat. It's not your fault. It's not that maybe you take too much food, but your genes just made you to grow too big, or you are too small to your discomfort. that's a situation you just need to accept that this is the way I am, and be a positive person, and also learn to bless others with your life. Otherwise, issues of committing suicide, issues of plotting evil in the minds, they are very at high, especially when you come back in your closet, you start meditating on what somebody said to you, what this person said. You know, people speak out of their ignorance. You walk in the street, you have vendors who can comment as if they have known you way back. It's just out of ignorance. Just need to let all those things leave you and come back and say, this is grace. I have gone through that. I still maintain my face smiling. I still maintain, saving. And I still have the desire to speak, encourage somebody, to say whatever challenge you have. If you have a problem you don't hear properly, it's okay. There are mechanisms for you to excel. You can also be a blesser to somebody just by what you are. Your attitudes, your character, your works speaks more louder. You know, issues of name calling and what have you. I went to Nsundwe one day at a certain place where I have a project. And in this village, I usually go there. So this time around, when I went there, I parked my car. Immediately, the kids below 10 years, below 10, others will below 5, they rushed to their mother, said, no, we have seen, she has come again, like mentioning the cultural names that these kids have been taught by their parents, to say, calling their mother to welcome me, but they didn't mention my name, and they mentioned the name they refer me to. So when I heard that, I looked at the kids, I said, these kids are just too young to know this name. How come they know these local demeaning words referring to a person with albinism? Then I looked at them, I told them, I kneeled down to them, and some were running away, but I said, come, come, come. And when the mother was coming, and they were following the mother, and I told them to say, no, my name is Grace. The name you called me, it's not my name. Now this also touched the mother. The mother was embarrassed, and the next time when I came, these kids, they called the mother, telling the mother that I'm around, using my name. Said, no, mom, come, Auntie Grace is here. So what I did there, I saw there was a challenge. It's not these kids, it's the environment that have been raised up. This 5-year-old child, how can they know the demeaning word of referring to a person with albinism, which means he or she learned it from the family. And when I had that kind of an approach to say, come on, come on, come on, that's not my name. So you are deleting that which is not true, and now I planted in them the truth to say, Grace is my name. Now that's the way to go. No, school never ends, and you don't need to stop teaching people. People call you whatever, speak carelessly to you, not because of anything. Mostly it's because of ignorance. And I am the best teacher to teach them. As I'm speaking now, those kids, when I visit them, they are people that embraces me positively, because even my attitude, even the tone of my speech on correcting them, it was quite positive, and they knew that I think they were on the wrong, but I also wanted to maintain that I maintain my position and my image. So my self-image shouldn't be diminished because of a 5-year-old child, and I have an attitude towards the whole family, much, and these are my neighbors. I will be frequently visiting that place. So every new environment I face, I would sometimes expect that maybe somebody would also have that attitude, but that doesn't change the content of me. I am the authentic Grace. So whatever I do, be it I'm walking on the road, I am the true me. When I'm shouting because it's the true me, which is the human in me. When I'm laughing, it's the true me. When I'm dancing, it's the true me. So I don't deny myself the spaces where I can enjoy myself and exercise my social space. Anything else I can do according to the freedom in my heart and how I've oriented myself to say, I think this is the way I need to do things. And it's quite important to notice that Each person, you need to value yourself. No one else is going to add value to you. If I am to devalue myself, I would not have even courage to come before this camera to speak to you. I value that my life, it's a teacher. I have a lot of role models. I have a lot of kids I mentor, knowingly and unknowingly. They just like me, and maybe they have heard about me. Now, why am I so? It's because I also value my life. I know God made me with a purpose in this generation to speak to people who be alive in this moment, season, in this time, so that they can also see the glory of God through my life. And testify that I think if she can ably articulate this or do this or can go this far in life, so how about me? So life has issues, yes, but limitation, it's in the mind. If you feel that I think I'm ending here, you have put yourself a limit, you end there. Yes, we have people that have gone through abuse as a child, sexual abuse, physical abuse, violated in one way or another. Maybe you didn't tell anyone else of that. You should also know that if, like I'm speaking, I've been psychologically tortured by a lot of people, by a lot of circumstances. Sometimes you go into Lilongwe market, I could hear comments of men. You know how men can rudely comment sometimes, especially in these vendors. Rude, I've dressed properly, but they will actually comment to me rude sexual comments in a public, and you are like, does this person have a sense to maybe see some of the things and know that I'm also a human being? But you can see that I didn't stick to that thing. I still go to Mpanipani and get what I want. I still go to any space just because I have my own image. I know they can't devalue me. No one can devalue me because I know what God has put in me. I know the skills I've gained through education, through exposure, and also through learning from my family and the people that have surrounded me. I have a lot of things that I still deliver to my nation. So why would just a word of a person, a vendor, or a young kid, or a neighbor demean me? I still feel like I'm also a teacher to them. It's not every time that I have been able to give a correction to people that have spoken to me something I don't like. But when God has given me the opportunity to bring a correction, I do so. So in times when you have no control, personally, I pray. I say, God, you have seen even the deep down the heart of that person and how I reacted. When they talk to me, they have talked to you, they have embarrassed you because I believe in you. So that gives me comfort and still say, I go ahead. Because in many circumstances, I can assure you, I have no control of the community that speaks at me, things good or things bad. But to God is glory as I'm growing, and I have managed now to continue improving on the positive image, the positive attitude of myself. I also have even courage to be a counselor. I am a premarital counselor. I counsel people during bridal showers. I'm given spaces to speak to people because the community that I live in, they have seen what I carry. People call me to give them counseling in terms of health, in terms of etiquette and what have you. Why? It's because they have lived with me and they know I think she's carrying something that is variable. And that is already telling you to say that they don't see whatever I've gone through because it's not in me any longer. I've put it on my back and I've proceeded in life. I am also a motivation speaker. Just as I'm speaking now, I've spoken to a number of people at one-on-one level. And I am also a counselor. I would counsel people with their own personal problems. Why? It's because I see that if I still stick to that which the community or the public sees as a challenge or as a weakness, I can't be a blessing to somebody. I cannot be able to respond to the needs of somebody. There are so many people that I'm supposed to reach out to bless them just by hearing my motivation speech. speech, they will be able to break those circles of limitations, those circles of low self-esteem, those circles of lawlessness, and having that esteem of saving others more. So when I knew that no one cannot close a blessing I carry, the gifts of God that I have, I just need that when somebody comes to me, I need just to save them. I serve people through leading them in different forums, be it at work, at church, in my family, in different setups, in Malawi, even internationally. I am a leader. And by being a leader, you just need to know that there are so many challenges that you encounter. I am the chairperson of the African Disability Alliance, and the secretariat is in Pretoria. I've been in that position since 2015, and by then I was so small. And when they were doing the elections, I never knew that God would make people elect me to be their international leader. And I looked at the people around me. There are people that are running big organizations of persons with disabilities in their countries, Mauritius, South Africa, but I was elected to be their leader. I did not say I cannot make it. I knew if God has opened up this door for me, this is my time to execute the best of me to save others. And indeed, I've saved first term, and I'm now saving my last term. It's 4-year term. I lead agencies. This is an agency that looks into issues of disability, how governments and countries, study countries even in Africa, can implement plans on issues of disability and all that is related to that. I did not deny. When you have been given a position, don't say I cannot because you have you feel like you have a challenge. Women, we are also sometimes at fault. I am a woman. I never think myself I can't do anything else. You just need to be there and say, I will do it. And I know by doing it, it's not me who do it. It's me, the Holy Spirit, and my God will be able to do that. And I've managed to save. This means on this row, I'm the chairperson. I chair meetings in South Africa. When I go to South Africa, I know I'm chairing a meeting. It could be a meeting of so many people. I'm the chairperson. I control people's emotions in that meeting. I control this, I control that, and make sure that we come up with a constructive decision for the good of Africa. Now, if I was to think of myself and my small issues, and these issues kids talk to me, these vendors talk to me, all those things, I think I wouldn't be that fruitful to somebody who can look at me as a leader. So what I'm trying to say is don't look at yourself and maximize that which you feel like it's a challenge and make it so colorful, people to see it first. No, this is the way I am. No, there's nothing else we can do. You want everyone else to sympathize with you. This world is running so fast. People are no longer sympathizing the way they used to do. People are rushing and looking for what can benefit them. They will just spiral you somewhere else and say, this is a useless being, and let's proceed with somebody who can be helpful. In your own state, if you cannot see properly, you are visually impaired, if you cannot walk, if you are, maybe you have a body size that it's not the way you would want, if you have maybe acquired a disability, or else you are not married, and you would see that maybe because culture talks of issues of age and all that, and you'd say, no, there's nothing I can do. I cannot be in this space because, no, it's only for married people. I'm not married. I can surprise you that I am a premarital counselor. I'm called to speak to people who are getting married in their bridal showers. And if there were some of you, you'd say, how can I speak to at a bridal shower when I'm not married? You should know that for me, I know what I carry. There are revelations from God. I speak words of encouragement, words of comfort, because you are giving somebody counseling that would build their marriage. And this counseling has to be built on truth and true revelations from God. And not bridal showering somebody on things that are just common. This is why people have broken so many people's marriages, because you never mentored that person truly. You go to a bridal shower, you speak only two things and two words, and you are sitting down and you are given something as a gift after speaking, but by the end of the day, 2-3 years down the line, that marriage has crashed. Who has broken that marriage? Who has brought in that divorce? It's the those, for me, I believe, when one is speaking at a bridal shower, like I am one of them, you need to get revelations and tell facts and pray about it, because you are planting a seed in the life of somebody who is starting something new, not using the traditional things like we do. So I've accepted that responsibility, because I know it's beyond me, but God wants me to be a blessing, because he can give me revelations. I can exhort somebody, I bless them. If I talk of etiquettes, you talk of true etiquettes that would build a home with a person, because God uses marriage as his first household. So if you are there like me, you are single, you are looking at your age, you're saying, no, I think I'm ending here, there's nothing I can do. I want to encourage you, you are not old at 30 years. You are not a grandmother at 40 years. Though you are single, in your mind, don't take out that attitude. Your self-image, you are still variable. Be a person of value. Be in any space where people you be a blessing, just as I am a blessing. Don't limit yourself by your age, by your character, by your disability, by your any challenge you have. Some maybe you can't even speak properly. These things you don't only always every time to speak. You can save people without speaking. There are a lot of people you can do. Go save people, the elderly out there. Go save orphans out there. Go save kids maybe who are just moving up and down in the streets to find out what is happening. Some you have resources, you have money, and you are growing old, you don't have kids. Don't only say, I don't have a child, then what else can I do? The society is laughing at you. I would want to tell you that I've learned to know that society does not laugh at us. It's your mindset that tells you that people are laughing at you. I've told you, when I'm walking in the street, everybody, they look at me. But the one thing I know is, yes, I'm short-sighted. I don't keep all those eyes on me. When I'm getting out of my house, I know people look at me, not because I'm looking different, but because everyone else can look at anything else. No, and that makes me going. Whatever they look at me for, I don't mind, because it's their freedom to look at me, because I'm also presenting myself in a public space. So if you are there and you feel you have a challenge, you still maybe you made a mistake somewhere else, and that is in your community, people record that I think this one is a failure. I want you to get out of that. It's not a failure, it's in your mindset. Be a person that is of value. Be a person that can bless others. Be a person that can minister to others, ministering so that you are a blessing, and it also gives you peace of mind. And associate with so many people. As I've given you my story, I'm not only just local associating here, working here, but I'm connected even internationally. Why? It's because I'm a free person. I know I can go anywhere else. And that has opened up opportunities for me, even to interact with people I never thought I can interact at my age. Presidents, ministers, MPs. Why? It's because of breaking the circle of limitation. I don't limit myself. I know I can do anything else. If there is something wrong that has happened, I make sure I give it a correct measure to make it constructive correction, so that we build Malawi, we build people's lives, we build our colleagues around us. Don't keep on stepping on people's toes because you are offended or you have a challenge in you. I want to say this again. Don't use your weakness to step on people's toes. Then you crush, you speak to people carelessly, you just utter words carelessly, you curse everyone around you because you say, no, I really have a problem. I mean, the world doesn't love me. I think there's nothing else I can do. Who said that I think you can do well without whatever you feel like you have? I am a lady without melanin. I do live. I have my life. It's just that limitation that is it's biological, but the rest of the things I can do. And that makes me live at peace and also be a blessing, as I've said already. So to anyone else who is listening to me, I would want to encourage you to say value yourself higher and with dignity. Carry yourself with honor. Don't limit to do whatever you want to do according to your principles, but be a blessing to people. Go out and serve, because people are looking up unto me to save. I've told you I've served in the hospital. I have taught a lot of nurses and midwives. I was with Mulanje, I was with Nkoma. I have mentored people who are getting married. I have led people in different forums or in my space. And I'm still aiming high to be a blessing, to reach out to any person who feels that they cannot do anything else. If we have many people with this kind of mindset, we can build Malawi of strong women, strong people, strong youth who would not look at the abuse they have gone through, who would not look at the challenges they have gone through their childhood, but still say, I still can stand and be a blessing, and forget the rest and say, I think that's the life of my Lord. And all in all, I want to thank you all for listening to this motivation talk. Thank you.
Help spread the message. Like our page, follow our page, and share our post.